in light of all the evidence, obviously very keen on all the evidence and what's going on, what is your approach in addressing someone like your dad, who in light of all that still has an aversion to Christianity?
Well, so there are three reasons why anyone rejects a truth claim. And this is true for jurors, it's true for your friends and family members. The first is that they have a rational objection. And that usually comes out like, I don't think there's enough evidence for this. Or I've looked at the evidence and I find it lacking in some way. Okay, fine. That's an evidence-based rational objection. The second is emotional. I have family members who are Christians. They're all a bunch of ridiculous hypocrites. Well, okay, that's not an argument about the evidence. There's not even a mention of evidence in that. That's an argument about an emotional response to people. That's emotional. The third is volitional. Rational, emotional, volitional. And volitional is simply, I don't want it to be true because I like my life the way it is right now. I've got values that I got from my culture. I like those values better. Either you change your church to match my values or I'm not going to believe in your church. A lot of that's happening right now. It turns out that probably about 80% of objections are volitional, but they usually don't want to say that, so they come out sounding like they're rational, but they're usually volitional. That's why you have to know who you're talking. You don't assume that you know where people's real... My dad's issues are not based on the evidence. So I know I got to go a different way with him, right? By the way, I'm going to say one thing to you guys really quick. I think it'll help you. When you select jurors, here's how the whole world, jury comes in, and there's this whole group of 75, 80 jurors. You're only going to be able to pick 12 plus 4 alternates for a long trial. So 16 people are going to get in the box. That's it. How do I get from 78 to 16? I look at the entire group and I say, okay, they're divided into two sides. People who right now are anti-police, they're pro-defense, they think the police are all liars. I can understand we're in a different place in culture than we were before. And there are people who say, no, I'm pro-police. So if you're coming to court in an orange jumpsuit, you're just guilty. Well, it turns out that if you're anti-police, well, no prosecutor wants you on. And if you're pro-police, no defense attorney wants you on. But it turns out these groups are divided even further. So you have people who are anti-police, but they're fair. If the evidence supports a conviction, they'll convict. Then you have people who are on the far edge. No, they'll never, ever side with the prosecutor. Then you have people here who are pro-police, but they won't convict if there's not enough evidence. Then you have people who are so pro-police that they think if you got this far, you're guilty, you're going to jail. Okay? So what we do as attorneys and as prosecutors is we are trying to eliminate the edges. These people who are on one side of the issue or the other, but they promise to be fair, they get to stay. These edges, they have to go. Well, it turns out when you're speaking to people in the world, they're divided into two groups right now. People who believe in Christianity, people who don't believe in Christianity, people who do. Okay? These two groups are divided further. These are people who, I don't think that Christianity is true, but I'm open to listen to it. These are people who are Christians, and they're like, I have doubts though. So they're kind of on one side of the fence or the other. Then you have people who are anti-theists. They want to see the whole thing burned down. Then you have people who are so pro-theist, so pro-Christian, they don't even care if there's any evidence for this. They're like saying right now, I don't even need any of this stuff. This is good, I'm glad you like it, but I don't need this. You could have the body of Jesus. You could have the tomb of Jesus. It wouldn't matter to me. I like Christianity. I'm in. Over here. Now, these people don't think they need to hear your case for Christianity. These folks I love to deal with, right? They're on both sides. One side of the issue, I can help some skepticism, I can help some doubt. What do you do with fours? These are fours. These are ones. Okay, with ones, let me tell you what I do. I say, you know what? You need to know the case. Oh, I don't need that. Oh, yeah. Do you have kids? They're twos. If you're lucky, they're twos. They're probably threes right now. Are they in junior high? They might still be twos. So you need to know, because by the way, they're not going to read my book. You need to read the book. So because it's relationship and information together that make a difference in influence. I can give you information, but I have no relationship with your kids. You have relationship but no information. Put those two together and you're in the driver's seat. So you need to know why this is true to make the case. If you're a 1 and you thought, I don't need that, yes you do, because someone in your life is a 2 and they're waiting for you to share the truth with them. They don't want it from anybody else. And if you don't do it, they can find this guy online. Now, what do you do with 4s? My dad is a 4. What do you do with 4s? Well, it's not like he hasn't heard the gospel from me. He has. So 4s, you model Jesus and you pray for them. Because until God moves them over here into a 3 position, ain't nothing going to happen anyway. And I cannot argue them from here to here. God has to pull them from here to here, and then they might listen to what I have to say, or they'll recall everything we ever said. So I want you to take some pressure off. You've got 4s in your life, and you're beating yourself up because you cannot make them 3s, 2s, or 1s. That's not your job. Your job is to model, to pray, to share when you get a chance. And remember, when they finally do become a Christian, it wasn't you anyway. Right?